Well, other than his debut game against Birmingham City, was that the worst Norwich performance under Clement so far? Welcome back to Where Canaries Walk. Three very, very despondent Norwich fans this week to get their teeth into that Millwall 3-0 loss. How are you all doing? Great to have your company back with us. We're scratching our heads at the moment. Were Millwall just that good? And have we played the potential champions there? Or is there work to do for the Canaries? Great to have you company back with us. We're also talking about kits this week. Of course, do we like them? Do we hate them? And what work needs to be done in the next 7 days? We've got Killian, James and Matty fresh back from watching that head-scratching performance, Killian. Any positives from it at all?
The only one that I can think of is I thought Ben Crescente played reasonably well. But otherwise, it was an abysmal performance by nearly everybody. Obviously, a couple of the late substitutions did okay, but I mean, it was well lost by then. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a horrible experience. Now, the only saving grace, looking at the table today, and I know it's only 2 games in, the 2 teams who beat us are top 2. So if we're looking for any silver linings, that could be it.
It could be it. Yeah. You've just played the team's been promoted. Welcome back, James. Hope you had a good holiday. Sorry we missed you last week. Hope you're good. Paddy says, I do not recall a Clement Norwich performance so far off it. Totally overpowered, James, by Millwall. Second best in every department. The only saving grace is just the one goal that they trailed, and then of course after that, of course, conceded 2 more. Was made. What have you made of it? Is overpowered a fair enough assessment?
I think we were just we were bullied. We were beaten in every area. I think what for me was frustrating is 4 months ago, we went to the Den, performed pretty well, and it was like Clement and the players didn't know what to expect. It was a near sellout at Millwall. They had a good win last week, obviously a good season. We panicked on the ball. Everything was slow. The players were arguing. I think McLean had a massive go at Córdoba after 5-10 minutes. For me, it's obviously we played pretty well last week. Obviously, didn't get the result, but it was just how bad we were yesterday from an experienced Championship team. Credit to Millwall, good team, good manager, but we shouldn't. I'd be surprised if we see a performance like that again under Clement this year.
Matty, this one will divide opinion. Joe says probably going to get hate for this, but Clement got this very wrong today. The starting lineup didn't match Millwall's quality, and the subs didn't happen soon enough. Essentially, he's got to carry some of the can for the results. Do you agree?
Yeah, and I think I didn't listen to his post-match interview, but I've seen snippets of it across social media and various WhatsApp groups where I think he came out and admitted that he got it wrong, which I don't mind. Obviously, I'd prefer he got it right and we didn't have that performance. But he came out and said, "Yeah, it's on me." As Hastings has said, we were there in April and performed well with a slightly different system, and yeah, it was frustrating. The 11 was peculiar. The subs to that person's point. We were chatting before we started recording, and we could have. Well, Killian joked that he could have made 11 changes at half time, but he certainly could have made 5. And I was very surprised that Field didn't come off for Wright and that Fisher didn't come off for Stacey. So yeah,
I think what I was more surprised is he's not been afraid to make subs at half time. You go back to Wrexham away, even West Brom away, 2 games spring to mind. I was like, at that first half, 20 minutes, I was like, I'll take being 1-0 at half time because Clement has that proactivity. He will make those changes. And then to hear that not a single change had even been made, it's like we almost waited for them to score that second and then we made the change. We were just always on the back foot. But I think if you ask any of the 2,000 Norwich fans there yesterday, anyone that watched it back home, all of us would have said, you've got to make a change. Whether it's Field, whether it was Fisher, whether it was Córdoba, Darling, whoever it was, something had to change, and it's just so frustrating it didn't.
Which is unlike him because he's proactive, as you say, Hastings. And I'm thinking, I got back up after a beer or whatever half time. It was 55 minutes. I was like, "Where's that gone?" So I said to the lad next to me, "Any change?" And he went, "No." And I was like,
"Yeah,
what?" So, yeah,
strange. What have you made of Field so far, Killian? I ask you this because there's a number of things I could have found for this, but Norwich fans are saying he actually doesn't add very much to our team so far.
Yeah, for me, he's not a starting member of the squad, but he's pretty decent. He's solid. I get what Clement was trying to do; it just didn't work. I mean, he needed a bit more height in the team because Millwall have got some big lads, and I think that's why he decided to play him. I know Maatsen hadn't played well the previous week, but He's been so good for us. I would have had Maatsen on to start personally. I don't know whether there was any kind of a niggle of an injury there or something, but I think Field has done okay for us. I mean, he's not going to set the world on fire. I think we said that last week, but he is really experienced Championship player, and I think he's okay, he's solid, but just didn't work out. But I wouldn't point just a finger at him. I thought, we were outpaced now by a very fast Millwall team. And it was only in the first few minutes of the second half that we started moving the ball quickly. And I think we looked much better by doing it. But we slowed down very quickly.
Yeah.
I think on that one, Mark, as well, just on Sam Field, again, to Kate's point, I don't want to hammer it home and just on him. But we were in the pub before and the 11 came out and I said to all the lads around us, I was like, Sam Field's a strange one. Like, he's the type of player you bring on with 10 minutes to go when you're 2-1. Not when you're 0-0 at 0 minutes. So it did feel like a strange one, and it's probably another one where he looks at it and thinks I've got it wrong. But yeah, to Killian's point, I don't think he should be starting too many games this season.
I get why he started because of that physicality. I got that to an extent. What I can understand, again, Killian, you probably know more, but why McConville wasn't starting, again, unless there was a niggle or an injury or something. But the Córdoba-McConville partnership last year was brilliant. So he said unless there's an injury, but then if there was an injury, why bring him on later on in the game, sort of thing. Obviously, I know Córdoba got sent off, but there's a few things that, and again, I think it's probably the first time we've ever questioned Clement, which is testament to him. And I think the trust is that he will change it around and will probably go back to what he knows best.
Who would you start against Burnley then, Matty, with that respect? Changes would you make?
Well, I think the Córdoba sending off means that he misses the Cardiff game on Tuesday, which is good. Because
Is everyone bothered by the cup, by the way?
On that one, actually, Mark, we could do with a win just to kind of... I'm not going to use the word stop the rot because it's far too early to start using phrases like that, like some people have. But we could do with a win just for a bit of confidence, a bit of feel good. But for the Burnley game, given that, looking at their results so far, which has been interesting, I think it's got to be if McConville's fit. Apparently, he's not trained quite as much, or he's not been quite as sharp, something like that. But McConville right centre back, Córdoba left centre back, and then maybe even Stacey right back, just to give Fisher a bit of a reality check. And
he was miles off it yesterday.
Yeah, he was. But to Killian's point, Krzenie played well at left back as well, so that would be my back four. And I definitely have to bring either Wright or Maatsen. If I think Maatsen's been having some hip injections or something, so maybe that's why he didn't start. But we just need some dynamism. And at home, 3:00, Burnley, recently relegated side. Off the back of a couple of poor results, they're going to want to, start the game fast. So we need to match them. And if we don't learn from our mistakes, like as Hastings has said, Millwall, we're at it, direct, fast. We need to do the same to Burnley, and have an 11 that reflects that, I think.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be any immediate head losses, though, should they, after these results, Killian? I mean, I don't know if you've seen some mainstream media suggesting, that there should be an emergency meeting. We're not going to even give them the airspace that mentioning their name. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, desperate for clicks, I would suggest more so than desperate for credibility.
Okay, well said. Right, in a minute, these three are going to give their opinions on what should happen in the next 7 days in relation to transfers, ins and outs, of course, as well. But before we do that, we have to do our point that we do every season at this point in the year. Now we've got our three kits aligned. I'll give my views in a second. Not that they count for much, given that I won't be buying any. But James, how many of these will you be purchasing? And give us your thoughts on them, please.
I haven't bought a Norwich shirt for a number of years, but I think that when that away kit came out, it was the closest I've probably been for a number of years to actually buying. I think the away kit's very, very smart. The home one is always yellow with a slight change every now and then. And the third kit, I never know why we have a third kit. Obviously, we know because of money and that sort of stuff. But yeah, listen, if rating out of 10, the home kit 7 is fine. The away kit probably 9, and the third kit NA. Don't have an opinion. It's not great.
I've bought the third kit. I always buy the third kit for some reason. I don't know why I've started doing this in the last few years. I never buy the home kit. The away kit, it's all right. I've seen it on a few people. It looks okay. I got my dad it for his birthday. But I always buy the third one just because it's always a bit weird and wacky. And
they are never wacky.
Never end up wearing it. 65 quid wasted or whatever it was. But I quite like it in the same way that it's a bit unique. So, do you know what, Mark? I'll be honest. I'm most disappointed about the home one. I think it's a bit naff.
Well, that was the point I was going to make. That was my point going to be, is actually, as much as the away one, I think the home one is just a bit, it's just a bit dull.
Do you not think all kits are going like this? Because I'd never understand why we have to have a new kit every year. Obviously, again, I know it's for money and stuff, but there's only so many changes to a yellow and green home kit you can really make. Again, I might just be being pessimistic because it's Sunday evening after yesterday, but just stick to the same ones as previous.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Luton do it, don't they? They change the kits every 2 years.
Did Brentford as well? Did Brentford do that?
Brentford did.
Gillian, do you spend your money on these things? Or
I do, unfortunately, yeah. And I do have the home and the away kit. And I also have the members kit, which is a lovely brown one.
That's the best.
That third one, though, I would definitely buy it if I was upholstering my bus. But,
well, the launch of it was them all stood on a bus, wasn't it? Which was just
it was a nod to the everyday, apparently.
Was it? Yeah. Okay. What next? Face Alan Partridge or something?
It's interesting. I've seen quite a few YouTube videos of people rating kits across the league, and that black one has topped many lists. So it seems to be very popular.
Yeah, it's smart. Yeah, it's Norwich. You could get away with playing in your yellow kit, couldn't you? Every game apart from Watford, I think, away. It's just ridiculous. But, okay, let us know your thoughts as you always do. Thank you very much in the comments. Right, you three, it's time to talk transfers and what needs to happen. And complete the sentence, please. If I was in charge of Norwich for the next 7 days, the one thing that I absolutely would be making a priority is, finish the sentence, I will see you in 7 days' time. Here's these three.
I don't know where to start with that. Have we just signed a new left back? Do we need a left back?
Yeah, we did. We got left back last week. I stand by
Dave, isn't it?
Oh, Dave, of course it is. Yeah, that's right. It's almost
put it like this: if I was in charge at the start of the transfer window, I'd have been looking for a new goalkeeper. I'm not blaming Vlad for yesterday, but I stand by, and I said it last season. He will cost us more points than he will save us, if that makes sense. Again, I don't think it was really necessarily a fault for yesterday at all, but
I think the first goal he spilled
could have been better. Don't ever palm it straight back out to a 6-yard box, and you probably could have held on to it. But listen, I can't see us. I don't actually see us really bringing anyone else in. I think we'll probably see a couple of outgoings. I think Gibbs will probably go out on loan.
Yeah. Well, have we got the depth for Gibbs to go out on loan is the only question.
Unless you put into his contract, go out on loan, but then we recall you or something like that. Gillian, where do you think we need to strengthen?
I thought we do need somebody who can compete with Vlad, if not a replacement for him. Clearly, even in the first cup game, Dan Grimshaw didn't get a look in. I don't know whether he'd give him a go on Tuesday against Cardiff. And I think he's played okay when he's played for us. But I think we've got really good options if people were injury-free in every position. But to me, there's not a real strong competition at that level. And I don't know if there's any... it looks like we've lost our second goalkeeping coach. I'm not sure what his role was, but I haven't seen him this year.
Interesting.
I don't know if that means anything or if there's any... But I thought Vlad grew into the season last season. But I always get nervous with him, and if I was a back, I think he's one of his character, but I think if I was a back, I'd be a little bit nervous having him behind me.
I think that's what everyone loves. Sorry, you mentioned him being a character. I think that's what everyone loves. I actually think, and this is going to sound contradictory or whatever, but I actually think he had a decent game yesterday. But the one thing that he's got to do better is the goal. Say Hastings, he pushes it out into their 6-yard box, he makes a save and he gives them a tap in, and you think, how do you do the really strange, quite sometimes extraordinary saves? How do you make them so often? And then the basics you don't do often enough. And I agree. I do think I like him. To your point, Killian, I like that he's a character. I just think, and I think Tom said this a couple of weeks back, we've always done well when we've had a good, our goalkeepers have always done well when we've had a strong second second choice, trying to push them. And we saw that with Good and Krul and etc. So, yeah, would we bring in another keeper on loan? What would Dan Grimshaw do? I don't know. Yeah, I think the signing of Masaba was probably the last signing we made, I reckon.
I think Clement came out and didn't he in his interview during the week saying, listen, inbounds are basically done and dusted unless, we get an injury or something. But, I think if we're sitting here based on how poor we were yesterday, we probably do need to bring in someone else. I stand by, another winger potentially. Striker-wise, have we got enough? Torre had a pretty poor game, but we're going to have injuries. Magoma's out injured. Obviously we're talking about Maatsen, Fisher, McConville, none of them fully being up to scratch as well. But we'll see. I think we've just got to move on from yesterday. Put it down to a very, very poor day at the office. Coming back to the Cardiff game, yes, I think I am first. I think we spoke about in January about the FA Cup game against Walsall when we were sort of saying, do we go? How strong do we go? And all that sort of stuff. And I think we all said, go full strength because winning is a habit. We've had if we lose, let's say Tuesday night, 2-0, 3-0 to a team that has just come up from League One, then all that pressure, Burnley at home is not easy. Stoke have had a poor start. That's then away, and then Sheffield United away, where I don't think our record's been that good there in the last few years.
And then Borough. That's a tricky first 7 or so games.
Yeah.
That is, Killian, going back to the signings one, do you think there's anyone that leaves? Histos has maybe mentioned Gibbs on loan, but do you think there's anyone that goes out?
Maybe Jakub Medic if we can find a home for him.
Good
I don't know. I mean, it's funny that we've heard nothing about Gabe Forsyth or Errol Mundle-Smith. There's been no talk about them recently.
Or Forson either.
Or Forson, yeah. So
Forson, I think, gets in ahead of Gibbs though in terms of off the bench options. I know they're different players.
Different players, aren't they?
But in terms of squad depth and quality, I think he adds a bit more than Gibbs. Mundle-Smith's a good one, I think, Killian, who probably could benefit from a loan. Forsyth looked decent. He got injured at Cardiff, didn't he, last season? And he obviously he was out for the rest of the season. And he looked decent that game. I know he was starting on the left and he was playing all right and he got took out. I don't even think it was given as a foul, or if I remember correctly. But it was a shocking challenge. But he could probably also benefit, to be fair, and those are two shouts about potential loans, I reckon, that could benefit from first team football.
Yeah, but I can't see us bringing anybody else in realistically.
No.
Even if we got an injury, I think we've got, on paper at least, cover in every position and multiple covers in some cases.
Yeah. It's not a small squad by any stretch. No,
and it's hard to figure out the number 10. But I don't know how. It doesn't sound like Paris is too seriously injured, but if you look at Schwarto, I don't think he's worked out in the wing. Is he a contender for number 10 with Paris and with Slimani? It's hard to know.
I like Schwarto as a 10, but I think it's clear that Paris hasn't worked on the wing against West Brom. It didn't work at all. I think he's the most talented out of all of them. I think Schwartau's got the biggest ceiling or the biggest trajectory or potential, and yet Slimani seems to do the business. He's fitter under Clement than he was previously. He works better off the ball, but he also had a great game yesterday. But to be fair, who did?
Yeah.
Was there not rumours, again, correct me if I'm wrong, of Slimani potentially being one that was going out the door either last summer or January or something, and then I think Clement came in and started him again.
Like himself, and they were trying to offload himself and Duffy back last December.
That was it.
And then sudden transformation, and he has been brilliant. And he does play with his heart, even if on a particular day it doesn't go his way.
Yeah,
like you can always trust him to go for every ball.
It's an interesting debate, that number 10. I think a lot of positions I think are relatively set in stone. It's probably just that 3, isn't it? Because you're right, Schwartau, Slimani.
But you've also got Jacob Wright who can play there.
I was just about to say, even Jacob Wright is that sort of number 10 preferred player. So it comes to obviously that's the good thing of the Championship is Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday there will be that rotation. Competition for place is always a good thing. When Makama comes back, I mean, listen, Torre again. I'm not going to point the finger at him yesterday. Apart from I think he could have held the ball up a little bit better at times, but when Makama comes back in that same competition in that position, we've got Cernak to come back at some point as well.
Topic.
Topic. Forgot it even existed.
Yeah. No, I know. But I think, listen, it's a massive next, sort of 2 to 3 weeks. We cannot afford to have the start that we did last year, because then we were always playing catch up. We need to get a point on the board. Sounds weird. I'd probably take a point home to Burnley, I think. They've had a poor start. But
I think we need to beat Cardiff, though. And I know
I agree.
we can say it's only a cup, but I think, losing's a habit, winning's a habit.
Yeah.
And if we can't throw our mark, then I don't know how much rotation he'll do. I think he'll go with a strong team. I
think there'll be 3 or 4 at least, but I think that might be more in not necessarily giving players a chance, but in telling players that, look, here's a reality check. You'll start.
Yeah, I think he could rotate, but anybody who does well will get to start against Burnley.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's an opportunity for certain players to say, I want to be on that starting 11. I think we probably will beat Cardiff, because I imagine they will certainly make the changes. I think they probably don't care at all about the cup. Realistically, their aim is to stay in the Championship. I imagine we'll probably see a win, 2-0, something like that. But I don't care if it's a scrappy win. I think last week everyone was always talking, played really well but didn't get the 3 points and that sort of stuff. I think we just need to get a win. Don't care whether it comes in, goal goes in off someone's backside sort of thing. I don't care. But let's get a win and move on.
Hastings, you said 2-0, so you've answered my question. Killian, Tuesday night, what do you think?
I'm going 3-1.
3-1 Norwich?
Yeah.
Okay, so as ever.
Mate?
I quite like the idea of 3-1 actually. I think we've still got a goal we conceded of us, even with a couple of changes. But 3-1. Right, that's Tuesday taken care of. Quick fire one, Hastings, Burnley.
1-1.
1-1. Killian?
I'm going 2-1 Norwich.
Oh, he's always the optimist. I'm going to go 2-2 because I think there's goals in it, and I like Hastings. It's pessimistic, I think. But like Hastings, I'd take a point, but I don't think it'll be easy. And I think they score goals, they'll score goals, but neither defence looks like it could be trusted yet. So we'll see. Will we be right? Well, we'll find out next week, won't we? Hopefully, it's off
fingers crossed.
Of a nice win at Cardiff and a win at Carrow Road in the last of the August sunshine in NR1. So thanks very much for joining us. We appreciate everyone's time to view, and if you haven't yet, subscribe, click the like button, and we'll see you next week.
Brilliant. See you later, lads.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye.